Mahama didn't just come for the photo op. He came to brief Tinubu on some real pressing issues. It's not just a casual visit, right? It's a strategic briefing. Look, Gen Z and millennial Nigerians are speaking up fearlessly, calling out the government, breaking down economic policies in plain language, demanding better, refusing to stay silent about corruption, mismanagement, and hardship. How can we claim to be better, build a better region, when those who dare to speak truth are treated like enemies? It's time to consider PayAngel. Use our code KASA, a platform designed by Africans tailored specifically to our unique needs. Gen Z, we need services that get us, and PayAngel does. PayAngel understands our needs, offering the best exchange rates and super fast transactions. Whether you're sending money to family or paying for business, it's all about convenience and trust. Plus, with PayAngel's easy-to-use app, you get more for your money and it's always safe. To experience the best service and value, use our code KASA when downloading and transferring. Remember, use our code KASA now. PayAngel, global payments, local simplicity. All right, diaspora, so we've always known and sensed a strong bond between Ghana and Nigeria. A brotherly relationship that honestly goes beyond politics but transcends into the jollof battles, the music, the fashion, and football, right? So just a couple weeks ago, President John Mahama of Ghana made a special visit to Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu at the State House in Abuja. And while on the surface it might seem like just a friendly presidential catch-up, this meeting holds a lot more weight than it appears. But there's something much more significant happening here, something that you might not catch if you're only looking at like the headlines. But today we're looking just a little deeper into that moment and why it might just be a significant sit-down conversation about important moves in recent West African and African diplomacy. More Kasa coming up on today's show with no bias, no lies, real Vim, real Kasa. So, as we know, newly elected and former President John Mahama's inauguration was on the 7th of January, where presidents of different nations within the continent gathered to show their gratitude towards former President Mahama. That including obvious sight President Tinubu of Nigeria, right? Well, a couple months later, Mahama decides to return the favor. So recently, Mahama made his way down to the State House in Abuja. He thanked President Tinubu for attending his swearing-in ceremony, a beautiful moment, honestly, of diplomatic courtesy. But in an article published by Vanguard Daily Nigeria News, Tinubu told journalists, "I feel good that he's here in the first place." And when Mahama was asked about the significance of his visit, he said, quote, "I came to thank him for the honor done to me during my inauguration."
To thank him for the honor done me during my inauguration, but also to brief him on a visit I made to the Sahelian countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, and to bring him up to date with some of the issues that I discussed with him. As ECOWAS chairman, it's my duty to come and brief him on some of the concerns that were raised there, so that we continue to see how to dialogue with those other countries.
But that was just the surface, because beneath that handshake and photo op was a much deeper conversation, one that speaks volumes about where our region is headed. You see, Mahama didn't just come for the photo op. I don't think he just came for the photo op. Or for the media's attention, matter of fact. He came to brief Tinubu on some real pressing issues. His diplomatic missions to the Sahel, Burkina Faso, and Mali and Niger, countries currently being led by military regimes, countries that have drawn with ECOWAS, countries that are reshaping the political map of West Africa, right? Quoted by Vanguard, Mahama said, quote, "but also to brief him on the visits of the Sahelian countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, and to bring him up to date with some of the issues and to discuss with him." Take note that Ibrahim Traoré was also another hugely notable president in attendance. showing his gratitude, although he and Burkina, alongside Mali and Niger, have removed themselves from ECOWAS. I don't quite blame them for that either. There's a valid reason for that, which I'll touch on shortly, but there's still some sort of relationship or perhaps loyalty between these countries, which is actually relieving to witness. So when Mahama sits down with Tinubu, not just as Ghana's president, but addressing the current ECOWAS chairman, it's not just a casual visit, right? It's a strategic briefing. That's how I'm looking at it. That's how I see it. It's important to look at this deeper. A huddle. It's a huddle. A moment of, look, my brother, we need to talk about what's really going on. Because in reality, a lot of changes are happening and happening very quickly, right? We should go on TikTok, on X. Look, Gen Z and millennial Nigerians are speaking up fearlessly, calling out the government, breaking down economic policies in plain language, demanding better, refusing to stay silent about corruption, mismanagement, and hardship. But what do, right? In return, threats, intimidation, in some cases arrests, not knowing where they disappeared to after, for simply just using the very thing that might just help them and help them be heard when all hope seems lost. Social media. How can we claim to be better, build a better region, when those who dare to speak truth are treated like enemies? This is what we're experiencing in Nigeria and we're seeing in the youth, right? How fair? But anyway, Tinubu went on to quote, "I am indeed very happy with the efforts he has made to have a bridge between the AES countries and the ECOWAS." It's, quote, "It's not a bad idea for us because of the security situation in the Sahel region and what economic opportunity that we must embark to ensure security of lives and prosperity of our citizens," Tinubu said. So with Tinubu acknowledging this, the big question becomes, now, is this the beginning of a reset? Why is this visit between Mahama and Tinubu really significant? And how will ECOWAS get in line with the Sahel states? Realize I'm saying, how will ECOWAS get in line with the Sahelians? Not the Sahelians getting in line with ECOWAS. Because clearly, what the Sahelian states are doing is working for their economies. It's working for them. Clearly, what they're doing is bringing some sort of glory to their nations. Their leaders are liberating them of years of suffering, totally obliterating the corruption in their economies. I mean, they carry some sort of wisdom, no? Like, I think that we should follow in those footsteps. And I think Mahama has seen this, which is why he's come to do small talk with Tinubu on this matter, right? We have Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. These three African nations, once solid members of ECOWAS, right, have taken a hard turn in recent years. Follow me. Military takeovers, political instability, and most recently, they've actually formed a separate alliance, the AES, the Alliance of Sahel States, and officially pulled out of ECOWAS. That's huge. This isn't just a political shuffle. It's a realignment, a statement. These Sahelian countries, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, they're not just walking away from ECOWAS for the fun of it, just because they want to. They're saying loud and clear, we don't trust the regional system. They don't trust the regional system anymore. We don't trust a bloc that moves when the West says move. We're done with the puppetry to Western governments and the US primarily. ECOWAS plays to America's tune. Let's be real. And the Sahel states don't stand for that. It's just recently we've seen President Mahama of Ghana take this stand speaking against IMF and the World Bank over the buffoonery, nonsense they strongly want to impose on the continent. But we need more of that stance, that authority being shown. Yeah, we got our country. Yeah, we handle our own. That's the front we should be showing. So, but let's be honest, right? ECOWAS, as it stands, has been playing to the tune of Washington, of Paris, of foreign interests for decades. And the Sahel states, they're not having it anymore. What they want now is autonomy, and they've got it. They've got it. They're charting their own path to build economies that serve their people first, not decisions made in back rooms we don't even know about. It's more than rebellion. It's reclamation. It's reclamation. Let me say that. Let me correct myself. Let's look at it that way. And whether or not we agree with how they're doing it, we have to understand the why. Because this tension between sovereignty and influence, between Africa's leadership and Western control, is the defining issue of our time. This is the why. That's why Mahama's visit matters. He's not just doing the diplomatic rounds. He's trying to reopen the channels of dialogue. He's trying to open this dialogue, letting Nigeria's President Tinubu know about what's going on and how we can actually move in the same direction, in the same way that these Sahel states are going in, to build some kind of bridge between ECOWAS and these military-led states before things spiral even further. Because we have to understand the Sahel isn't just any random patch of land. It's a geostrategic gold mine. It's where terrorism, migration, and economic opportunity all collide. If this part of the region becomes further isolated or destabilized, the ripple effects could hit the entire West African neighborhood, including Ghana, including Nigeria. Let's be smart, Africa. There's hundreds of opportunities hanging right over our heads, but close to zero chances taking towards claiming them. Let's put an end to repeating this diabolical cycle. Not in 2025. Let's put an end to this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it was great talking with you. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today. Be blessed, be vigilant, and stay tuned for the next episode on The Real Kasa Show. Hey viewers, if you're looking for some amazing West African cuisines in New Jersey, visit Legit African Touch at 52 Ferry Street, South River, New Jersey. Mama's Secret, only continental dishes, preferably Ghanaian or Nigerian dishes, all in Legit African Touch. Get a feel of the African touch now. What up, viewers of The Real Kasa Show? Make sure to follow The Real Kasa Show on X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok as well.